and guys like John Riggs.
Oh God,
John
John.
Riggs is amazing.
Myself, Metal Jesus,
I used this in my last video too. The amount of times this guy says, uh, I don't believe a word this guy is saying.
Kelsey, all played the Intellivision Amico at E3. They had the display units and everything, and they say, here it is. Here is the Intellivision Amico. Not what it could look like. It's not hooked up to a computer. It's hooked up to an Intellivision Amico. It's playing it on real hardware.
Do we know if it's real hardware? Even 3 years later, we don't know for sure what exactly is inside the box. If it's real hardware or something else.
I don't have any nostalgia factor for Shark at all. We had so much fun playing it. It was a party game.
A lot of cuts here.
Going back to, it was just, we were having fun next to each other. We were standing right next to each other, all of us, laughing, taunting each other, congratulating each other by, like, you got me, that was so awesome, or, like, oh, I'll get him, he's going to go in the corner, one of those kind of things. And that was fun for me. It was great to just stand there, and play this video game with my friends who are right next to me, not online.
So John Riggs has never had friends over to his house playing games. Like he's like it's like a novel new thing. It's like, oh man, I've never had buddies over either playing a Mario Kart or Mario Party and laughter. That's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. I don't see why this is like a crazy new fandangled thing. It's like, oh, I had friends over and we played games and we had a good time. Like, holy shit! Like this is so weird when people do this all the time. It's just a weird thing to say.
And then here comes Tommy. Make it like a phoenix, making it rise
Wow.
from the ashes.
What a shill.
Jumping up into the circle. I had a lot of fun with that game. The Intellivision Amico, I played it, and like I said, I played it on real hardware.
Oh boy, that aged well. Are you sure, John, the expert, if that was real hardware?
Real hardware.
Real hardware, okay.
It was a 2-minute trailer. Half of it was just Tommy selling the sizzle. But there is steak with that sizzle, I'm here to tell you.
This guy, if he was so confident in the Amico, then why did he take down his Amico videos on his channel? If he believed this at this point in time, why did he take his Amico videos down and privated them or delisted them? It's kind of weird. And this goes back to my other videos where I said people being honest. How do we trust people like this? Because even if it turned out it wasn't real hardware, or if it doesn't come out at that point in time, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever this was, John Riggs had a great time playing Shark or whatever games he played. Even if the console doesn't come out, why would you hide the fact that he had fun? Why would you hide that fact? So is he telling the truth?
When it first came out, when it was first announced, I was like, good luck, congratulations. But seriously, good luck, because I didn't know how well it was going to do. The more I play it, the more I'm behind it. In my opinion, the Intellivision Amico is a great other game system to have.
I noticed a lot of things he said. First of all, there's how many cuts in his video here? At least 5. But he hit all the same talking points that Tommy would keep using and the Amico cult would keep using for years to come. The same talking points. It's just weird that by coincidence these guys would say like the same phrases. Very interesting. It's almost like they're coached to say this.
Have your Xbox, have your PlayStation, have your Switch, have your Intellivision Amico. This is not sponsored or endorsed.
Yeah.
This is me after I played it, because I actually had my hands on it. There's a lot of people out there who are just like, maybe they have one opinion or another, positive or negative, about the Amico. And my opinion is positive, because I played it. Try it first, and then have an opinion.
Boom, right there. The talking point. Try it first, then have an opinion. No one's ever said that in any gaming anywhere. Try it first, then have an opinion. Except with Intellivision, and it started 2-3 years ago with John here. That's the same thing that that Tommy would say and everyone else, the shills, would say. So you could totally tell this guy's not being genuine.
And if your opinion stays the same, that's fine too.
So again, what you're seeing is a lot of people who have spoken to me, who have seen the machine, who have played the machine, are having positive responses to it.
So the only way for people can have positive responses is that they have to visit Tommy and play the machine with them. That would have been a hard feat, even if this did hit retail and did hit production. How's Tommy going to go to every single store, sell them one at a time? It shouldn't be like that. If you have a good product, that should sell itself. It should sell on its own merits.
I'm inviting you guys to come on up to Intel. You guys are in San Diego, right? We live like a half hour from each other. I'm in South Orange County.
So what happened if they lived across the country?
Intellivision is based out of Irvine. So Irvine's about an hour from you guys. But come over my house. I can show you the machine. I got machines here at the house. I got them at the office. And look, I'd love for you to come and play it. I mean, this is our E3 controllers here. These were the working prototypes at E3, but we've since redesigned these. We've redesigned these because we're always getting, feedback and things like that.
And that's part of their downfall, redesigning that late. Once again, not a hardware expert. I implore people to go on the Intellivision subreddit and hunt out for that post where somebody posted pictures of what Kevtris had suggested should have been the progress, or what he just gives like a basic overview of the boards and everything. Very interesting read, and I would imagine what did he say? They're 10 months out from releasing here, that they're doing redesigns that late. That seems, well, we already know the answer, but if everything was planned out, then why are they doing redesigns this late?
And one of the biggest things that we redesigned is actually something that Pat mentioned in one of his videos, that he, about the way you held the thing and how the way it was held and how you had to hold it like this and the buttons on the side, and that's like old school stuff. That's not the way, games have progressed on for that. I agree. We agree as well. We were just putting them there for now to see how it was. We saw a lot of people were holding it like this. It really depends on the game. Every game we have, people hold the controller different. Even people who are playing the same game will hold it different.
That's a bad thing, Tommy. This means it's confusing. If you give anyone a controller, even if they've never played a game, you give them a DualShock or the Xbox controller, it forms around their hands, so at least they know how to hold the controller. That's normal. If people are holding it differently for the same game, that means it's confusing. They don't know how to hold it. That's not a selling feature. That's a bad thing.
It's kind of a cool thing about the controller.
No bad.
If you like your D-pad on this side, like the old NES and Super Nintendo and Genesis, you can hold it like that, right? And then these become different buttons, or shoulder buttons up here, right? Or if people like to hold it like this and move this way and shoot, or some people, I personally, I like to hold it like this a lot because that's how I kind of grew up playing in television.
That's an insight of why things are designed the way that they were. He wanted to make this like his old childhood favorite console, the Intellivision. Nobody wants to hold it upright like that. That's a terrible way to play games. Just absolutely terrible.
We have actually changed the buttons and moved them around. So one of the big things that Pat has an issue with the controller, we've actually fixed, and that's why it's great for me to always be communicating with people and being in contact with folks. You guys would love to. I think you would enjoy it. I think you'd love. I have a huge retro game collection, which I'm sure you guys will.
Horde. Actually, his room looks pretty clean there, but in other videos, it's a mess.
Would love. I have some amazing Japanese NES Nintendo stuff, which is incredible. Famicom, the keyboard, the disc drive, all in mint condition. The original Zelda and Mario games from Japan. I think you guys would get a kick. I collect mostly machines from the 70s, but all the way up to the Famicom.
And that's actually, that line right there was pretty good insight of. I'm just looking at the picture here. He looks very sinister here with his tongue sticking out. Kind of looks like the guy from Mad Magazine. What's the guy's name again? I forget. He looks just like that guy there. But getting back to that, where he says he has a collection of games. His consoles are from the 70s to the NES, and it really explains why the guy has been out of touch. He has no idea anything post SNES, so the PlayStation, PS2 moving forward. The guy is stuck 40 years in the past and in his own bubble, just like he talked about earlier. He's in his own bubble and he's not self-aware of the current console gaming infrastructure and what it's like.
And I have, a lot of stuff in between. So I think we'd have a great time. Love to invite you guys. I think you'd find it interesting, like all of the things that we do, like with the controller and the wheel and how we, came up with all that stuff and the different methods and the way the controller works and all this stuff. This is all things that are going to be happening throughout the next 14 months, right? And
14 months, but it didn't happen. And the funny part is, several years later, they still haven't shown motion controls properly working. They had to redo cornhole, so the motion controls never worked. The touchscreen was only an input. There's never any game that actually had some type of interactive element with the console. And very minimal LED. We haven't seen any games with the microphone, or even, I think there's a speaker on the controller. Basically, all we saw was them using the circular disc as a D-pad and I guess you would call them shoulder buttons, and the touchscreen as just face buttons and nothing else. There's, Evel Knievel, you can tilt your rocket. There's some tilt controls, but he never ended up showing anything like with merit at all.
And I'd love to talk to you guys off the record, on the record, if you'd like to. But again, if you don't want to, that's fine. It's your prerogative, your show. But I just want to make it clear, though, and this is the reason for my video here. I want to make it clear that I'm not angry at you guys, and I'm
totally
not
angry.
Attacking you guys. Now, here's the comment that I left.
I'm not attacking you guys.
On your video 2 videos ago, when you were just by yourself, and there was a Mario in Ian's seat, and it was a comment that I left on that regarding the price of the machine. But I did post this.
Whoa, we're gonna go back there. Let's just read the comment, just because I can't remember if he goes over it or not. It says, "Hi Pat, thanks for covering Amico. To clarify a few things, the system is under $200, and he capitalized under. And boy, did that age incorrectly, or that aged poorly. What's it now, 340 for 2 controllers? Trying for 179, but depends on tariffs, etc." And that's also a lie, because it wasn't because of tariffs. It was because, well, first of all, they ended up doing a loan, and second of all, the hardware was just bloody expensive. And this goes back to that CavTress post. I'll try to find it and post the link in the description, and maybe on the top corner here. And it's interesting, just showing this how convoluted their board was inside the system. And it says, and considering it comes with 2 controllers, turns out that not every package comes with 2 controllers now, and you can hook up to 8 mobile devices or controllers, which also ended up only being 4 controllers at once. And they never showed any games that had up to 8 people. They didn't even show what's that game, Farkle. They couldn't even show a card game, so I think the most they showed was 4 people playing. I don't think anything had more than 4. And so it says at once, free downloadable app and 5 for our best-selling games packed in. Well, 6 games, but this is where I think that Tommy wrote the text on the box, because a couple things. He likes to put, like earlier where it shows under and capitalize, he likes to capitalize random words. But what it just said there was 5 for our best-selling games packed in. How are they best-selling games? Because that makes no sense. First of all, they were never sold, so you don't know if they'd be good-selling games or not. But if I remember correctly, Astro Smash used to be a pack-in game, and even if it wasn't, those old games from 40 years ago, like, how's that there any relevance between how well they sold then compared to now? So I don't know why he would say best-selling games packed in. And if they were his best-selling games, that's kind of weird, because they are selling games separately. It doesn't make sense. Like those other games didn't sell at all. Like it makes no sense. That's just a weird term. He also says, also keep in mind the games will be $10 or less. We have collector's edition physical media as well, but for more. Well, he says physical media. So then the next sentence or next paragraph says, but I think one huge thing you overlooked is that people cannot play mobile games together in the same room. There are a few exceptions such as the Jackbox and Space Team, but those are few and far between. So the ability to play the same game and everyone watching the same screen is really what we're talking about, and that doesn't exist for a system that has friendly controls and focuses on games that can play no matter what your skill is. You mentioned you don't have any children. If and when you do, this system and what we are trying to accomplish will probably make a lot more sense. Okay, I'm just going to stop there because there's a couple points. We'll rewind back a bit where he says people cannot play, and he said not in capitalized letters, play mobile games together in the same room. Well, I thought this is mobile games are different from console games. Mobile games are usually a singular experience. How many mobile games are, well, we'll use the example with games they have there. Well, they didn't even really have any games. How many times do people want to play like Farkle together? Usually people just use their own dice or their own game board or whatnot, but the consoles games have more meat and potatoes to them compared to a mobile game, like a mobile running game or whatnot. So it's such a weird thing. So are they trying to say that they just only have mobile games? Like, it's just a weird comment. And we'll go fast forward where he says, you mentioned you don't have children. If and when you do, this system and what we are trying to accomplish will probably make a lot more sense. That makes no sense at all. I have children, so this should make sense to myself. Is he referring to that my children would all have mobile phones and mobile games that they play? That makes no sense. Assuming he's talking about the other games, like couch co-op. And we do have that in Nintendo Switch. Is usually what the people bring up at the Xbox. I have an Xbox, and I also have so many I have everything pretty much. But the Xbox, I have Game Pass, and there's tons of awesome games. And one of the games that we like playing as a family is the Lego games, and those are fantastic. And there's tons of other games, so it's weird that he always created this narrative that there is none. And why do you have to have children to understand this? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Like, oh, you have children. No, if we have children, usually parents don't want their kids playing a ton of games, and they're fully aware of what consoles. If you have children, they're even more aware of the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox having multiplayer co-op games, because parents look into that stuff. So such a weird comment. So he says, I understand you're a big Nintendo guy. Well, basically think of us picking up where the Wii left off, and except we're less expensive, we'll focus a lot of our library on family entertainment. Can you believe the Wii came out 13 years ago? It doesn't seem that long, but it was, and I'm sure you're aware it isn't even supported online by Nintendo anymore. So I also don't understand. So with the Wii left off, this is my memory, could be wrong, write in the comments if I'm wrong. The Wii left off where it started off hot, and a lot of people liked the idea, the gimmick of standing and swinging your arms, thinking you'd get exercise. But where it left off was a whole bunch of shitty shovelware games, and people just being tired of it and moving on to the 360, which was really big back then because they had a much better gaming experience, because there's way more better games, quality games, graphics were better. Same with the PS3, so both of them, they're about the same. And the Wii left off with Wii Sports doing well, but a whole lot of people having fun and then moving on from it. So I don't know why he'd say where the Wii left off, because the Wii left off to Wii U, which did horrible, and then they turned around when they brought out the Switch. So weird comment. It's like as if he's stuck in a time loop where when the Wii first came out and was hot, and thinking that it continued on like that. Anyways, just want to let you more blah blah blah. Just talks more, so I'll press play.
And there's a Mario in Ian's seat, and it was a comment that I left on that regarding...
God damn it. I'm going to stop because I didn't read that. It says, I think a lot of people would tune in, and I'm about the same height as your stuffed Mario anyway, the other short Italian in the video game industry. Oh, come on. Like, ugh. Really likes pushing the short jokes.
The price of the machine. But I did post this to you on Twitter as well. And again, this was after your last video. Tell me where this is attacking. Hi, Pat. Thanks for covering Amico. I'm thanking you. You had fair as well.
I'll go over this one too. Sorry about that, guys. He says, hi, Pat. A bunch of us folks have told me that my response to your video seems to have been hidden. My post includes some info clarifying things you talked about in hopes to shed some light. I screen grabbed the hidden comment in case you didn't see it. Boy, that's pretty obsessive for a guy who's spending 20 hours a day working on the Amico.
And again, this was after your last video. Tell me where this is attacking. Hi, Pat. Thanks for covering Amico. I'm thanking you. You had fair concerns. I didn't attack you for that. I'm saying thanks for the coverage.
Huh? I didn't attack you for that. Thank you for that. He seems to be pretty upset. His voice is getting high.
And then I said to clarify a few things. The system is under $200 because you said it could be $300. And then I give a little bit of information here. One of your big comments on that video was that, look, people already can play casual games. The Wii's passed, and everybody moved to mobile and casual, and that's where mobile is. That's where casual is. Everybody has a phone in their pocket, so why the hell would they want a home system? And this is why I explain in this paragraph. I said the issue is that people don't play mobile games together on their phone. You're not playing couch co-op. Now, are there some exceptions?
He seems really angry there.
Exceptions? Absolutely. Jackbox is an amazing example. Mobile games together on their phone. You're not playing couch co-op. Now, are there some exceptions? Absolutely. Jackbox is an amazing example. Love the guys at Jackbox. Love all their products. So trying to get
sucking up there because I assume he wanted them on his system, but I still don't see the connect between mobile games and console couch co-op games.
Visuals to come over to the Xbox and the Sony is a very difficult thing to do. And again, even the Switch. Look, I have the data. I know all the numbers. I have all the data. I know the people I know the all the demographics of the people who are playing the Nintendo Switch, and because I know Ian has a big problem with this or question.
I'm going to try to find that image that Nintendo released last year where it showed that the demographics they had was quite varied from a young age to an old age, and this is what Tommy would push in the next few years, that the toddler market wasn't being, it's a gold mine, and the senior market was a gold mine, and there's a reason why. And I've said it a million times before, there's the toddler market being 3 to 6 year olds. Their attention span is so small, and plus parents don't want them sitting at that age in front of a TV playing games, and if they did, most of them will purchase a Leapfrog tablet or else an Amazon tablet, some type of tablet, because there's millions of educational software that's free and fun for the kids to play. And plus it also plays YouTube with CoComelon and all that annoying stuff, but they're not going to spend $200-300 to play games that they can play for free on a tablet.